Welcome to the channel, and thank you for joining this exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins where unexpected minting mistakes can transform something as ordinary as a $quarter into a legendary treasure worth millions. And today the spotlight shines on the mysterious and highly coveted 1998 P Washington quarter that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors due to an extraordinary belief that one unique specimen with rare errors could command a staggering value of up to $47 million, a figure that ignites curiosity and makes everyone wonder how a coin worth just 25 cents could possibly reach such an astonishing level of desirability. So let us explore the full story, the specific errors, the minting anomalies, and the speculative forces that elevate its status from pocket change to a dream piece for numismatists across the globe, because the United States Mint produces billions of coins each year, and while most emerge perfectly ordinary, a very small fraction come out with distinct imperfections that create intense demand, and the 1998 P quarter minted at the Philadelphia facility stands out because certain examples have been reported with missed strikes, doubled dies, off-center details, incorrect planchets, and missing or misaligned elements that make collectors pursue them obsessively, since errors serve as physical evidence of the complicated industrial process behind coin production, and any break from the expected standard transforms the coin into a rare artifact with its own identity, especially during the late 1990s, which represented a transitional era for United States currency technology, as the Mint refined equipment, leading to occasional mechanical inconsistencies that now appear as unique collectible variations. And those who understand the hobby know that rarity plus strong demand equals high market value. And the legendary $47 million figure does not apply to every 1998 P quarter, obviously, but instead refers to a hypothetical or possibly rumored ultra-rare specimen reported to possess multiple overlapping errors that would create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, sparking speculation that extremely wealthy collectors eager to own the finest and most unusual error coin might pay any price to secure it, especially if the coin remains in pristine uncirculated condition with high grading status from professional services, which estimate value based on luster, strike sharpness, and absence of wear, with a grade of MS68 or MS69 on the Sheldon scale propelling value exponentially higher due to near-perfect preservation. And there have been discussions within the coin community about specific dramatic errors, such as a double denomination error where a quarter design might be struck over another coin type, like a dime, creating layered inscriptions and mismatched sizes, which result from planchet mix-ups in the minting facility, because if the wrong metal blank accidentally enters the wrong press, the resulting piece becomes extremely rare, as seen in other famous error coins from different years that reach six-figure sale prices at auction. So a 1998 P example with this type of anomaly could easily multiply its value many thousands of times. Then there are double die obverse errors, where the coin shows doubled letters in Liberty, or the date, or In God We Trust, which arise from a misalignment during die creation when the impressions shift between strikes, leaving a shadow-like duplication that collectors adore due to its clear visual impact and rarity. And while some double die coins from other years, like 1955 and 1972, have achieved iconic status, a dramatic 1998 P double die could join that elite group if authenticated, particularly if combined with mint mark abnormalities such as a shifted or improperly punched P that looks off-center or heavily rotated, increasing both interest and market value. And we cannot forget broad strikes and off-center strikes where the coin is not properly held in the collar during striking, causing a stretched or incomplete rim, making the design appear misplaced toward one side, which creates a striking appearance that stands out immediately to any trained eye. And more dramatic percentages of off-center displacement equal higher rarity, especially if the date remains fully visible, which is important for desirability because collectors must be able to identify the year clearly. And then there are clipped Planchet errors where part of the coin's edge looks bitten off due to miscut metal sheets, a phenomenon that adds visual intrigue, while equally important are strike-through errors that imprint foreign debris such as grease or metal fragments directly into the coin surface, resulting in partial missing design elements, which create a distinctive texture that experts can identify. And although some of these errors individually may raise a coin's value only modestly, the true dream scenario occurs when multiple rare error types occur simultaneously on a single 1998p quarter, which would mean the coin escaped not one, but several quality checkpoints, making the surviving specimen astronomically rare and fueling the myth that a perfect storm of flaw conditions could justify a multi-million-dollar valuation, especially among collectors who pursue the pinnacle of rarity without concern for price. And numerous rumors and collector conversations suggest that an elusive 1998p mule error might exist, a mule being a coin struck with obverse and reverse dies that were never intended to pair, such as a quarter obverse and a different denomination reverse. And mule errors have proven to be some of the most valuable objects in American numismatics, with certain Sacagawea $ and Washington quarter mule combinations selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if a 1998p quarter mule surfaced with clear authentication, the market frenzy could skyrocket to unprecedented levels given speculation and competition among wealthy buyers. And another dimension that increases value lies in the mystery surrounding the coin's origin, because whenever a possible illegal release from the mint is rumored, meaning an employee may have intentionally allowed a flawed coin to escape for profit, controversy heightens collector interest due to the aura of secrecy and scandal. And since collectors love stories, the narrative behind the coin becomes a significant driver of price, especially if media coverage expands awareness and fuels demand. And with social platforms amplifying coin discoveries, spectacular tales like the $47 million 1998p quarter spread rapidly, drawing thousands of people to search their pocket change hoping to strike gold, which in turn increases general interest in the coin market and strengthens valuations of premium specimens already known to exist. While grading companies play a crucial role because authentication provides security and confidence for major investors, so a coin that receives a top-tier certification label noting its exact errors can command far higher prices than an uncertified example. And if an auction house with global reach features such a coin and multiple affluent bidders enter a heated contest, that single event could elevate the final hammer price into shocking territory, especially when dealing with an item that cannot be replaced. And scarcity remains the central theme, because almost every household in America once handled a 1998 quarter without a thought, but the near impossibility of locating the extraordinary error version makes it exciting, like a lottery ticket with odds stacked astronomically against the finder yet still offering hope, and that psychological element enhances the myth surrounding the coin. So the spectacular $47 million figure becomes not only an estimate of rare coin economics, but also a symbol of possibilities that continue to energize collectors, drawing new participants into numismatics, who learn the difference between ordinary damage and true mint errors, who study diagnostic markers, and who appreciate the intricate artistry and engineering that go into currency production, transforming a simple quarter into a cultural artifact that connects industrial history, American iconography, and speculative finance in one small metal disc. And this is why the story of the 1998p era quarter remains so captivating, because it represents the ultimate pursuit of rarity, the concept that hidden treasures still exist in everyday circulation, and the belief that knowledge and observation can unlock extraordinary rewards, driving passionate individuals to analyze coins with magnifying lenses, compare surface anomalies, measure edge details, consult catalog references, and monitor auction sales, while always hoping that the next discovery might be theirs. Next, 1992p quarter dollar coin. Today, the focus turns to the intriguing and heavily rumored 1992p Washington quarter, a coin that originally held the modest face value of just 25 cents, yet has inspired widespread speculation that an ultra-rare error specimen could reach a jaw-dropping valuation of as much as $44 million due to a combination of minting anomalies, rarity, and intense collector demand, creating the perfect storm for numismatic fascination as enthusiasts and investors alike explore the possibilities that transform ordinary circulating currency into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And this story compels everyone to search their pocket change with new enthusiasm, because the United States Mint produces vast quantities of coins each year, and the 1992 production at the Philadelphia facility was no exception. And although the overwhelming majority of those coins left the presses in flawless condition, a very small number reportedly carried mistakes that have elevated them into the realm of serious collectible assets. And rare errors are coveted because they serve as tangible artifacts reflecting the complicated mechanics and industrial precision necessary for minting legal tender, reminding us that even advanced machinery is not immune to occasional flaws that escape inspection and therefore enter circulation where they might someday reward an observant finder beyond imagination. And the 1992 P quarter comes from a significant period in United States coinage, because the transition toward more mechanized die preparation and improved quality controls meant that any surviving errors from this era tend to be extremely scarce, adding a layer of intrigue and desirability that continues to grow as collectors share rumors about extraordinary examples that might exist, encouraging further searching, further discussion, and further increases in perceived market value. And among the most talked about possibilities is the dramatic double die obverse error, in which iconic inscriptions such as Liberty, the date, and I in God we trust can appear double due to a misalignment during the minting die creation process, producing a visual shadow-like effect that makes the piece instantly recognizable to trained eyes. And historically such errors have achieved legendary status in numismatics, with models from earlier years gaining immense appreciation, and the 1992 P version could join that prestigious group if one of exceptional clarity and preservation is discovered, especially if verified and graded at the highest professional certification levels, which dramatically influence monetary worth. And another possibility involves off-center strikes where the design is shifted significantly toward one side due to improper positioning in the striking collar that holds the planchet during minting. And the more dramatic the misalignment, the higher the rarity, provided that the date remains visible, which is crucial for authentication and desirability. So a severely off-center 1992 P quarter with the date fully intact would create enormous appeal, especially if it remains in an uncirculated state, since condition amplifies value directly, and collectors also search for broad strike specimens lacking the characteristic raised rim around the coin, where the collar failed to contain the metal during the strike, resulting in a wider and overall flatter appearance that creates visual uniqueness, and when combined with other anomalies could push rarity into premium territory. And there is also speculation surrounding possible mule errors for this year, which would involve a mismatched obverse and reverse die, pairing a Washington quarter side with a design belonging to a different denomination, an extremely rare phenomenon that has produced some of the most expensive error coins in American history, because an oversight at the mint must occur in multiple stages for such a mistake to happen, making any surviving piece both an engineering oddity and a coveted collector's prize. And stories circulate among passionate numismatists that a mule error 1992 P quarter might exist hidden away or lost in circulation, and if confirmed authenticity were ever established, such a coin could ignite fierce bidding wars among wealthy collectors, pushing final auction prices into unprecedented heights, easily reaching or surpassing the rumored $44 million valuation due to its unparalleled rarity and intense competition among those wishing to own the rarest quarter ever publicly known. And another category of desirable error involves wrong planchet strikes, where the quarter design is accidentally struck onto a metal blank intended for a different coin, such as a dime or a foreign denomination, creating mismatched dimensions, distinct edge characteristics, and a noticeably lighter weight. all of which increase rarity and produce dramatic appeal to specialists who appreciate the scientific challenge of identifying the anomalies that occur at the metal unit level of coin fabrication, and a wrong planchet strike combined with flawless preservation could elevate the 1992 P specimen far beyond normal expectations of value, especially once professional graders confirm the metal composition and attribute the error officially, because certification drives credibility and credibility drives price. And then there are die cracks and cuts where breaks in the die transfer raise lines or missing chunks of design onto the coin surface, producing visually striking features that demonstrate die fatigue or mechanical failure. And though such errors may appear minor to casual observers, they attract dedicated collectors who track varieties and study sets of coins from the same die state, and rare die break patterns that align with limited production windows enable remarkably high valuations, especially when linked to low population counts, a fundamental driver of the numismatic marketplace. And in addition, certain 1992 P quarters may show strike-through errors where grease, debris, or stray metal obstructs parts of the design during striking, leaving missing areas or ghost-like impressions that stand out under magnification, creating highly interesting deviations from expected standards. And although not every form of strike-through error yields massive profits, the most dramatic and visually distinctive examples with sharp uncirculated surfaces could multiply value many times, particularly when combined with other anomalies. And it must be emphasized that the theoretical $44 million price represents the ultimate scenario where multiple rare error types converge on a single uniquely dysfunctional piece that survived mint inspection without harm, and then somehow avoided wear through circulation, remaining in an exceptional state that grading services categorize as MS68, MS69, or conceivably MS70 on the Sheldon scale, which would be astonishing for a circulation-intended coin from this era. And collectors understand that rarity multiplied by quality multiplied by demand equals extraordinary market valuation. So a perfect fusion of extreme rarity and perfect preservation would present an irresistible chase piece for the upper echelons of private collectors, who may treat ownership as both a personal triumph and a long-term investment asset capable of appreciating even further as awareness of United States minting history expands. And iconography plays a psychological role as well, because the Washington quarter is already one of the most recognized and widely used coins in American life, meaning that the transformation of such a common object into a treasure of unimaginable worth introduces a dramatic narrative that resonates deeply with the public, encouraging treasure hunts in spare change jars and dresser drawers, while fueling conversations that keep numismatics alive as a vibrant hobby. And auction houses know that great stories raise great prices. So the moment a captivating backstory emerges involving a lucky discoverer unearthing the holy grail of modern quarter errors, the excitement would certainly translate into high-stakes bidding, investor attention, and media coverage that escalates the coin's fame, which in turn drives its price like a piece of elite fine art where notoriety itself becomes part of the valuation formula. And the idea that a 1992 P quarter worth $44 million might exist somewhere out there captures that same thrill of possibility that motivates enthusiasts to learn more, examine coins carefully under magnification, track diagnostic markings, consult reference catalogs, and seek expert opinions whenever something unusual emerges. Next, 1983 D quarter dollar coin. Today the spotlight shines on the intriguing and heavily speculated 1983 D Washington quarter, a coin minted in Denver with a face value of just 25 cents that has become the subject of fascination due to the possibility that an ultra-rare error specimen could be worth as much as $38 million, a figure that captures the imagination of collectors and treasure seekers everywhere. Because within the massive production numbers of United States coinage lie occasional minting abnormalities that succeed in slipping past quality control, and these errors, when dramatic enough and preserved in exceptional condition, can elevate a common object to one of enormous historical and financial significance, which is why the 1983 D quarter continues to spark interest and inspire searches through pocket change, old bank rolls, and forgotten coin jars in homes across the country, as enthusiasts hope to uncover one of the greatest hidden gems in modern numismatics. And the year 1983 is important in United States coin history due to notable production inconsistencies, particularly related to the absence of official mint sets for circulation coins, which meant far fewer high-grade examples entered collector hands early on, making pristine specimens significantly harder to find today. And when rarity of condition intersects with unique mint errors, value increases exponentially, especially under competitive market conditions fueled by wealthy collectors who pursue the ultimate items to complete their advanced sets and investment portfolios. And among the most desirable and widely discussed error types linked to the 1983 D Washington quarter are double die obverse varieties that show duplicated lettering on core inscriptions such as Liberty, the date 1983, and I in God We Trust, creating a noticeable doubled appearance that reveals the die shifted slightly during creation. And collectors place immense importance on doubling that is strong, clear, and easily observable, without magnification, because such traits signify a highly dramatic and deeply collectible error. And if a 1983 D double die example were to appear with bold doubling and survive in immaculate mint state condition, that combination alone could elevate its worth into the upper echelons of valuation, especially once certified by a trusted grading service. And off-center strike errors also contribute to rumors surrounding the 1983 D quarter's value, because these errors occur when the planchet is not perfectly aligned during the strike, causing the image to shift toward one edge, leaving portions of the design missing. And collectors appreciate off-center errors most when the date and mint mark remain fully visible, since identifiable context is critical to desirability. And high-grade, severely off-center 1983 D pieces would certainly draw strong attention. And the presence of additional error types such as incomplete rims, flattened regions from uneven striking pressure, or distorted lettering due to die misalignment could further enhance rarity. And broad strike errors are another possibility for this mintage, arising when the collar designed to hold the planchet in place during striking fails to engage properly, which allows metal to expand outward, creating a wider and slightly irregular coin, which becomes immediately noticeable to specialists who recognize minting anomalies. And when such broad strikes combine with crisp detail preservation, they form highly desirable pieces that document technical mishaps at the Denver Mint during the year. And one of the most exciting theoretical possibilities involves a wrong planchet strike where the quarter's design is mistakenly pressed onto a blank intended for another coin, such as a nickel or foreign denomination, resulting in incorrect weight, metal composition, and reduced diameter, which would represent a complex and extremely rare mint blunder, because these errors require multiple points of procedural oversight. Failure, and thus survival, is exceedingly remote, and alongside these possibilities stands the rarest class of error known as a mule, in which mismatched dies are paired incorrectly, such as a Washington quarter obverse combined with a reverse that belongs to a different coin type entirely, producing a hybrid design that has no legitimate place in official mint production. And mule coins from other years have become some of the most valuable United States mint errors ever discovered, regularly selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars or more, which is why many experts remain open to the possibility that somewhere, unseen or unrecognized, a 1983 D mule quarter could exist hidden in a private hoard or still lost in circulation. And the moment verification occurs for such a piece, its potential price could skyrocket far beyond expected market limits due to limitless competition among top-tier collectors who appreciate absolute uniqueness and other known error types that could contribute to meaningful valuation include die cracks which leave raised lines across the coin surface due to metal breaks in the die, cuds which occur when chunks of the die face fall away, leaving missing design elements that create raised, blob-like areas on the coin, and strike-through errors where grease, cloth fibers, or metallic debris obstruct part of the design during striking, making inscriptions appear faint, ghosted, or partially absent. And while minor errors of these types appear somewhat regularly, spectacular and visually dramatic ones from 1983 that remain well preserved with strong eye appeal gain exponentially more attention from dedicated error collectors who specialize in identifying each distinct stage of die deterioration and mechanical malfunction, and these collectors are always prepared to bid aggressively when a specimen stands out as unique or historically important, raising prices significantly, especially once full authentication and attribution are confirmed. And part of the value speculation concerning the 1983 quarter is driven by the scarcity of high-quality coins from that year, because unlike many other dates, no government-issued uncirculated mint sets featured the 1983 circulation strikes, so nearly every example encountered today has endured some level of handling, making fully uncirculated pieces in the highest possible grades exceptionally scarce and therefore extremely desirable. And if an error specimen surfaced in a condition such as MS-69 or even MS-70, which industry professionals consider nearly flawless, that alone could justify 6- or 7-figure valuations before collectors even consider the rarity of its mint errors, and the hypothetical leap to the $38 million figure represents the ultimate convergence of rarity factors, including single survivor status, extreme visual impact error type, major collector demand, and intense media attention that drives bidding wars to record-breaking heights, because the numismatic market operates partially on supply and demand, but also heavily on prestige, and the psychological power of owning something no one else can ever obtain. And the narrative behind the existence of such a rare 1983 quarter contributes to its appeal, because the coin already holds historical intrigue as part of the modern United States minting timeline, which experienced significant economic pressures and metallurgical experimentation during the era, and this heightens interest further when error anomalies emerge, as they become benchmarks of the technological challenges the mint faced as processes evolved. And enthusiasts know that the thrill of the treasure hunt fuels the popularity of coins like this, because anyone could potentially encounter one in an overlooked jar of coins or a collection passed down through generations without full knowledge of the value contained within, which adds an element of suspense and excitement that continually draws new participants to numismatics, all hoping that their next discovery might be the one that changes everything. And professional graders and authentication experts play a critical role in validating these finds, ensuring that any high-stakes transaction carries full confidence regarding the coin's legitimacy. And their involvement helps transform exciting rumors into confirmed history, and confirmed history into monumental auction events that make headlines. Next, 1981 quarter dollar coin. Today we focus on the mysterious and highly speculated 1981 Washington quarter, a coin originally minted in Denver with a simple face value of 25 cents, yet rumored in numismatic circles to potentially reach a staggering valuation of up to $40 million if a truly unique error specimen were ever brought into the public spotlight. And this astonishing belief arises from the combination of rarity potential, minting anomalies, and the intense competition among wealthy collectors who understand that rarity plus desirability often equals record-breaking prices, transforming an ordinary piece of change into a once-in-a-lifetime artifact. So as we dive deep into the specific error types associated with 1981 quarters and the theoretical scenarios that could cause one to become worth such massive amounts of money, it becomes clear why enthusiasts continue to examine every detail of coins from this year with close attention, because even though billions of quarters have passed through circulation since 1981, the possibility remains that somewhere out there a truly extraordinary error coin has yet to be discovered and authenticated. And during this period, the United States Mint was improving automated processes which increased minting efficiency, but also occasionally introduced unpredictable mechanical inconsistencies that slipped past inspection. And whenever these mistakes survive the quality control phase, they create distinct variations that collectors treasure, especially when such pieces remain in pristine condition, which dramatically increases their market value. And one of the most talked about possibilities includes a double die obverse error for the 1981 quarter, where inscriptions such as Liberty, the date 1981, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," appear doubled due to a misalignment when the working die was being manufactured, creating a noticeable shadow-like effect that experienced collectors can easily identify under magnification. And double die errors from other years have brought significant sums at auction, making the discovery of a bold and sharply detailed double die 1981D in mint state condition a highly desirable outcome that could drive competitive bidding to stunning heights, especially if professional grading services assign a rating near MS68 or MS69 on the Sheldon scale, which represents exceptional preservation. And beyond double dies, collectors also seek dramatic off-center strikes where the coin's central design shifts to one side because the blank planchet fails to align correctly within the striking chamber, and the more pronounced the offset, particularly if the date remains fully visible, the rarer the piece becomes. And high-grade off-center errors already attract premium prices, but if paired with multiple other major anomalies, this could form the type of coin that investors would chase relentlessly at auction. And then, there are broad strike examples produced without the retaining collar during striking, resulting in an expanded diameter and smooth peripheral edge that makes the coin appear visually different from standard versions, creating immediate collectible appeal, especially when the coin has additional die issues such as incomplete lettering or weak strike details that clearly document problems encountered at the Mint's Denver facility during that production run. And strike-through errors also present appealing rarity when foreign debris such as metal fragments or grease becomes lodged between the die and planchet, so portions of the design appear faded, missing, or textured in an unusual manner. And in 1981, this type of striking interference could create distinctive anomalies that attract specialists, and although these may appear subtle to casual observers, dramatic examples with broad visual impact are known to bring serious value due to their rarity and their role in telling the story of minting production challenges. And another major category of value boosting error lies in wrong planchet strikes, where a quarter design might have been accidentally pressed onto a blank intended for a different coin, such as a nickel or dime, which would produce a noticeably smaller diameter or different weight and unusual rim characteristics that can be easily verified with precision scales and metal composition analysis. And a 1981 quarter struck on the wrong metal could generate significant excitement, because such errors require several simultaneous mechanical oversights, and their survival in mint state is exceedingly unlikely, meaning a confirmed example could instantly become a grail piece in modern United States error collecting, and this would inflate value dramatically, particularly if it remained free from circulation, where that reduces visual integrity. And mule errors represent another rare and extremely valuable possibility, because they involve mismatched dies such as a Washington quarter obverse paired with a reverse mint for a different denomination, and only a handful of mule errors from other time periods have appeared throughout history, yet those have generated enormous attention and high price tags, so the hypothetical discovery of a 1981 mule quarter in top condition could easily lead collectors to enter intense bidding rivalries that push selling prices into the multi-million-dollar range due to its absolute uniqueness. And some collectors speculate that experimental or transitional die trials might have occurred around this time frame, which theoretically could have resulted in unauthorized die pairings or test strikes accidentally released to circulation. And although such scenarios remain speculative until supported by physical evidence, the mere possibility keeps interest high and motivates individuals to study coins extremely carefully, hoping to uncover these fascinating historical accidents. And the 1981 D quarters increasing mystique also stems from die deterioration varieties such as die cracks and cuds that form when metal breaks or chips from the die face, creating raised lines across Washington's profile or missing metal areas along the rim where design elements vanish entirely. And while small die cracks are common and hold minimal added value, large dramatic cuds or structural breaks that compromise major design areas are extremely attractive to collectors because their existence indicates advanced die failure that likely resulted in very few coins being struck before mint. Workers replaced equipment, meaning survival numbers remain minimal, which directly enhances rarity. And when considering the fabled $40 million valuation attributed to a hypothetical perfect storm example of the 1981 D quarter, it becomes clear that such a price would require multiple overlapping error types visible with strong clarity, an exceptional state of preservation indicating the coin never entered general circulation, and a certification from a top-tier grading service verifying not only authenticity, but also its status as the single most significant error of its kind. And private collectors with vast resources have been known to pay beyond publicly expected ranges in order to secure ownership of a one-of-one piece capable of elevating their collection to a level unmatched by others. So a coin like this could realistically achieve a record-breaking sale, especially if competing bidders recognize its historical and artistic importance, transforming the transaction into a high-profile event that receives major attention from numismatic media outlets, which would then further raise its prestige and potentially its long-term investment value. And the allure of finding such a coin creates excitement among everyday people because a 1981 D quarter remains common enough that someone could unknowingly hold one among spare change without realizing the life-changing worth it might possess. Inspiring treasure hunting behavior in coin rolls from local banks, estate sales, old jars in family homes, and anywhere currency has been stored for decades. And each new searcher who becomes fascinated by the hobby contributes to the growing popularity of numismatics, ensuring the market remains strong and competitive so that rare discoveries continue achieving high prices whenever they surface. And the narrative power of a 1981 D quarter being valued at $40 million serves as motivation for both seasoned experts and new enthusiasts to learn how to identify genuine mint errors, to distinguish between true production anomalies and post-mint damage that does not increase value, and to appreciate the complexity and precision required in the process of producing each coin we use daily. Last 1978 $quarter coin. Today we focus on the fascinating and heavily speculated 1978 Washington $quarter, a piece normally worth only 25 cents yet rumored by collectors and error coin enthusiasts to possibly reach an extraordinary value of up to $36 million if the right combination of rare mint errors, high-grade condition, and unique survival circumstances are discovered. And the idea that a simple late 1970s quarter could command such staggering attention demonstrates how rarity, desire, and historical intrigue can converge into astonishing financial possibilities within the coin market, especially when considering that the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters in 1978 across multiple facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, making the existence of a singular error example with monumental significance both thrilling and incredibly unlikely, which only heightens the interest surrounding it and encourages countless collectors to inspect their change carefully in hopes of encountering a life-changing find, since many error coins are discovered purely by accident when someone happens to notice a strange feature unlike anything normally seen on government currency. And the 1978 quarter emerges from a transitional period in United States minting when technological improvements were underway, but still prone to limitations in die maintenance and planchet preparation, creating the opportunity for fascinating variations that escaped quality control. And among the most desirable error types linked to the possibility of massive value or dramatic double die obverse errors were inscriptions such as Liberty, the date 1978, and iron god we trust show clear doubling caused by misalignment during the hubbing process when the design is transferred onto the working die, leaving bold shadow-like outlines that collectors prize especially when visible without magnification. And if such a double die 1978 quarter existed in pristine mint state condition, it could bring substantial attention from serious investors because doubling with dramatic clarity is exceedingly rare for this year. And next we consider off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank is not properly seated within the striking chamber, so the design appears shifted and partially missing. And the value increases as the off-center displacement becomes more extreme, provided that the date remains intact for identification, and a 1978 quarter that is severely off-center yet fully uncirculated could attract tremendous bidding competition, especially if authenticated as a unique example with no comparable specimens known. And broad strike errors also offer a compelling avenue for rarity, in which the retaining collar fails to hold the metal during striking, causing the coin to expand outward and lose its typical reeded edge, producing a slightly wider and smooth rim that immediately signals mint malfunction, and combining a broad strike with additional design anomalies, such as weak peripheral details or partial rim flattening, could elevate desirability substantially within advanced error collections. And then there are strike-through errors where debris like grease, cloth fibers, or stray metal fragments become trapped between the die and the planchet, leaving blank or ghosted portions of the design. And strong strike-throughs that distort major features such as Washington's portrait or key inscriptions can create one-of-a-kind collectibles that tell a story about unexpected production conditions inside the mint. And while any well-preserved strike-through error generates interest, a dramatic 1978 example with unique visual characteristics could dramatically raise curiosity among experts who value distinctiveness as much as rarity. And one of the most thrilling possibilities lies in wrong planchet strikes, where the quarter design is mistakenly pressed onto a blank intended for another denomination, such as a nickel or dime, or even a foreign coin planchet, and these errors become instantly recognizable based on diameter, weight, and metallic composition tests. And since 1978 was a period when the mint struck coins for several countries under contract, the potential for mismatched blanks introduces incredible speculative excitement, because a one-of-one wrong planchet discovery in high grade could easily achieve extraordinary auction results and push valuations into ranges that only the wealthiest collectors could realistically pursue. And even rarer than wrong planchet errors are mule errors, where mismatched dies from entirely different coins are paired in production, creating a coin that never should have existed. And only a handful of mules across all United States denominations have ever surfaced, yet they consistently drive headlines and record sales, since their complete incompatibility with normal mint protocol makes them among the most cherished trophy items in numismatics. And if a mule featuring a 1978 quarter obverse with a reverse belonging to another coin series one day appears in authenticated mint state perfection, it could very possibly justify the incredible rumored figure of $36 million by virtue of being a truly one-of-a-kind marvel that marks a monumental mechanical oversight. And another class of rare errors that might contribute to monumental value involves die cracks and cuts created when aging or damaged dies break apart under striking pressure, leaving raised jagged lines or missing metal areas where the design collapses. And while small cracks carry only modest premium, large dramatic cuts that significantly alter the design, especially near important inscriptions or Washington's profile, could increase desirability massively, especially if the coin remains sharply detailed and retains original mint luster. Because collectors understand that these late-stage die failures produced very few examples before the mint replaced the damaged die, and therefore survival numbers remain extremely small, which directly enhances rarity. And there is also the crucial factor of grade, since condition remains one of the strongest determinants of price in any coin market. And although countless 1978 quarters remain in circulation, nearly all have experienced contact marks, wear, corrosion, and environmental exposure reducing their appearance and value. So if a rare error example survived untouched, possibly stored unintentionally in a collection from the time of minting and later discovered in a flawless state that achieves an exceptional grade such as MS69 or even the near mythical MS70, then value instantly skyrockets, because such perfection in a circulation strike coin from this era is almost unheard of. And collectors who pursue top registry set rankings would enter fierce bidding contests for the opportunity to own the single highest graded error example known, which drives prices upwards dramatically, and the narrative surrounding an object also plays an important role in valuation, because coins with mysterious backgrounds stir more attention and media coverage, which in turn fuels additional demand as investors recognize not only rarity but cultural buzz that turns the coin into a piece of numismatic history rather than simply a collectible metal object, and the possibility that a 1978 quarter with sensational errors might remain undiscovered in a drawer, a safe deposit box, or even loose change adds to the legendary appeal that continues to attract treasure hunters who hold out hope that everyday items can still hold life-changing secrets. And this concept is one of the strongest motivations behind modern collecting, since countless individuals have already found coins worth thousands or tens of thousands entirely by accident, proving that remarkable discoveries remain possible when knowledge and attention intersect. And although the extraordinary $36 million valuation assigned to the hypothetical ultimate 1978 error quarter undoubtedly represents the upper end of theoretical numismatic economics, it remains grounded in known market behaviors, because collectors have repeatedly proven willingness to pay fortunes for unique or nearly unique error pieces, especially when they simultaneously capture aesthetic wonder, historical importance, and incomparable rarity.